you all got this thing, so before you go there, would somebody just tell me what happiness is, please? I'm now an instructor, like a professor. What is happiness? Anyone? What's happiness for you?
Happiness for us as
To you, in your opinion, in your experience.
In my experience, happiness is Mother Nature.
Explain what that means to me, please.
If I'm having a tough time, if I can just go outside and feel the atoms and the molecules and see the blue sky or the rainy sky or the snow sky, anything outside is where I feel happy.
And why do you think you feel happy there?
Free. I'm free.
Free from?
Everything that's behind me, behind those doors.
So you're not thinking about, and instead you are where?
Just in the moment, present.
What's happiness for anyone else?
I would say it's something like appreciating, like recognizing that in that moment I feel very fulfilled and joyful.
Mm-hmm.
And being aware of that.
Yeah. Awareness of joy in that moment. I think you started to say something like gratitude a little bit, right? Ish? No.
Yeah. I actually didn't, but I was
working
with this word fulfillment.
There we go, that's what I was, sorry. Fulfilled. So, and why in that moment when you feel fulfilled, what's happening in your, like, where are you? I mean, you know what I mean?
It could be, I mean, the main thing working through my brain is, like I was skiing today and there was a little boy struggling on that icy Jordan outrun and I helped him down.
Yeah.
And that felt,
Yeah.
you know, like I was bringing value to his
Yes,
day.
yes.
And I recognized how much I enjoyed that because I'm actually thinking about what am I going to do next with my job. I used to teach swimming lessons when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I could teach kids.
Isn't that interesting? Open something up. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add to that? Their thoughts on what happiness is for you?
I don't know if you planned it this way or not, but I mean, for me, happiness is a sort of lightness about everything, and it's a balance of all the noise so that there is no noise. I don't know if that makes any sense. It might be too esoteric, I don't know. But that, for me, when I'm truly happy, everything feels balanced.
Nice.
Nobody's pissed. I don't have to hear this. Everyone's having a joyful day. It's just sublime.
Yeah. I asked the question not because we're going to look a little at what the possible answers to this idea might be, but not because I think that yours is right and mine is wrong or whatever, but because what I find interesting is that we don't tend to think about that. We don't tend to spend any time going, oh, I should figure out what happiness is and how to get it, because if I want it, I should know. Like, if I want a car, I'm going to spend some time figuring out what kind of car and where to buy it and how to pay for it and So you do this work to get yourself the car. And yet we don't do the same thing for this thing, which is like what we're all pursuing all the time, right? So that was just an interesting way to start this conversation, I thought. What I've offered for us to quickly look at in the next 5 minutes are 3 different perspectives on both what is happiness and then what causes happiness, right? Because knowing what it is and knowing how to get it can be 2 different things. And what I brought up that I thought was kind of interesting was sort of a modern version of Psychology Today, a Buddhist answer to this question, and Aristotle's answer to this question. So we're going to zip our way around the room on these. I'll start with what is happiness at the top. If you don't have glasses, don't worry, listen along. Here's what Psychology Today says about what happiness is. Happiness is an electrifying and elusive state. Philosophers, theologians, psychologists, and even economists have long sought to define it. And since the 1990s, a whole branch of psychology, positive psychology, has been dedicated to pinning it down. More than simply positive mood, happiness is a state of well-being that encompasses living a good life, one with a sense of meaning and Did somebody, are you able to see? No, yes?
I don't have that sheet. I
Oh,
don't
then
have
you
that.
can't see.
Yeah.
Can
I
you read
see.
the Buddhism one, please?
So happiness is a sense of long-term well-being, peace of mind, and satisfaction with our lives. It's what all of us look for all the time. When we have even a small taste of it, we want it to continue forever.
Nice. And Carrie, you read the last one?
Yeah, Aristotle.
Mm-hmm.
Another definition of happiness comes from the ancient philosopher Aristotle, who suggested that happiness is the one human desire. All other human desires exist as a way to attain happiness. He believed that there were 4 levels of happiness: happiness from immediate gratification, happiness from comparison and achievement, happiness from making positive contributions, and happiness from achieving fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you guys take away quickly from the 3 different views on what happiness is? Do they seem largely the same or very different?
Similar, pretty similar.
I feel like they're
I think-
largely the same.
I think they're a little different though.
Okay,
I think
go
that the Buddhism piece is about detachment, and
Mm-hmm.
Aristotle's philosophy is more about defining the experience with attachments. So I feel like, I kind of feel like,
You're right, and do you know what, I actually realized, I'm gonna pause you if you don't mind.
No.
I realized I should have left the last sentence off from Aristotle, because those are sort of how to get happy.
yeah,
And what I wanted to compare was what is happiness?
right,
And so if you look at Aristotle's first line, happiness is the one human desire, all other human desires exist. It's not even really a very clear definition.
It's
It's
not.
just saying it's the one thing that we all wish for, right?
apparently.
And if you compare that to Buddhism, they say it is the one thing that if we have a small taste of it, we want it to continue forever.
Yeah,
And if you compare that to psychology today, you say, it's a state of well-being, living a good life, trying to, electrifying an elusive state that we're all trying to achieve. So what do you guys make of that? And again, I'm not trying to force your answers. Do you think
no,
it feels-
I see that there's commonality to the goal.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
so let's just keep that in mind, if you don't mind, and then let's read through the next, which is if that's what happiness is, which is even harder to define, clearly, what causes happiness, yeah? Right, hello, right, very typical. Audrey, can you read the first?
What are the causes of happiness? According to psychology today, happiness is not the result of bouncing from one joy to the next. Researchers found that achieving happiness typically involves times of considerable discomfort, genetic makeup, life circumstances, achievements, marital status, social relationships, even your neighbors, all influence how happy you are, or can be. So do individual ways of thinking and expressing feelings. Research shows that much of happiness is under personal control.
And the next one is part of the same.
Regularly indulging in small pleasures, getting absorbed in challenging activities, setting and meeting goals, maintaining close social ties, and finding purpose beyond oneself all increase life satisfaction. It isn't happiness per se that promotes well-being, it's the actual pursuit that's key.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, would you like to read the Buddhist take on that?
Sure. Buddha said that the greatest source of true happiness is to cherish others. When we sincerely care for others' well-being and happiness, our hearts become warm, open, and connected to others, and we ourselves feel a sense of genuine well-being. We even feel physically better, concerned about others' happiness. We try to help them as much as possible and avoid doing anything that might cause them harm. This creates trusting friendships which make our lives more meaningful. With the emotional support of family and friends, we find strength to deal with whatever happens in life.
Very nice. And then, Wendy, you could even read that sentence up above from Aristotle and then add this one on as the happy. Are you able to read it? Yeah.
Aristotle believed that there were 4 levels of happiness. Happiness from immediate gratification, happiness from comparison and achievement, happiness from making positive contributions, and happiness from achieving fulfillment. And what causes happiness, Aristotle says, let's see here, happiness could be achieved through the golden mean, which involves finding a balance between deficiency and excess.
There's that word again. Balance.
So you know what's interesting about this? Aristotle is what Buddha said.
Yeah.
Buddha is what Wendy said, helping the boy today, right? And I think Kate or someone mentioned this sense of gratitude or experience of, being focused outdoors, being in a place, or kind of what psychology today said.
Yeah.
What do you make of that distinction? Go ahead.
How does times of considerable discomfort fit into happiness?
I don't know, what do you think?
I think it's the contrast, typically what they say, if you don't
Okay, so
have,
you can see.
like the lows and you have the highs, like, okay, this is discomfort, like, wow, it's
Okay.
finished, I'm happy.
Ooh, yeah.
What do you make of these three different ways to get happy? As it were. Is one right and one wrong? Does it mean that it's different for everybody? What do you
They're all
think?
different perspectives and it's each individual, so this balance could be the balance of discomfort and effort,
Mhm.
right? So what is that?
Mhm.
Deficiency, excess.
I think we experience all three at various times in our lives, because I'm very happy when I'm giving to my students, like you said when you were helping that get more today. But then it can switch to, well, I'm really happy when I'm outside, or, I think it depends on where you are at that moment.
Well, for sure, all of us in here find happiness a little differently.
Yeah.
But
What
there
makes me I might find happiness a little bit different than you do. So, I mean, just like these guys, they all.
Well, I think that's really, to me, the interesting question. Are we actually all finding happiness in different ways? And what I mean by that is, if you pick apart, if you go underneath the thing, the helping, the teaching, the outdoors, the this, the that, you go a step below that or above it, what is common to all of those experiences?
Presence.
I think so.
But in connectivity somehow, like whether it's connected to the nature, connected to people, connected somehow.
But you're connected because you're
Present, yeah, that's true, yeah.
right.
I think some of it, the stuff that's more like Buddhism and a little bit of the balance is, there could be like, generally you're unhappy and then you have a moment of happiness, or something that sort of relieves you from the pain of what is your norm. And then there could be a place of happiness in which you exist because you have the right kind of balance and relationships and things in your life so that your core is more fundamentally happy because of the balance that you have achieved through connectivity, speaking openly, whatever it is. So there's maybe like a more fundamental happiness, and then there are moments of happiness that are more like sparks of relief.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, I offer this, as you know, just for you to think about. Like, go consider it. And I guess to me, as I've said already, there's this interesting question of if I'm in this, I'm here, I'm that. Oh, this makes me happy. That makes me. Oh, I ate the ice cream. Oh, I did like these things are all still flashes. They're right. But what made them something that made you happy? I think you'll find this presence is a common theme, that's underneath it all. So then you start to say, not how can I have more ice cream, but how can I get more present? Not how can I have more anything, but you're working toward, and that then, and to me, potentially, opens up lots of different ways, like of exploring what presence looks like, potentially. But I know that I kind of wanted to put that out there, but not because I think it's right or wrong, it's because it's something for you to think about. Because I do see that what we tend to do as humans is, and I think this a bit what shows up in this psychology today is like, there's this, and 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 there's this, which feels like for me, like, oh my God, okay, and I gotta fix this, and I gotta fix that, and I gotta fix this part of my life, and I gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd like to be able to just, as you kind of said, wait, it's like a be. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Is that just a little insane?
Well, it's also, isn't there, and we heard about that we are human beings, not human doings.
Right. You just need to be.
That's a good one.
I still wanna be happy about the ice cream though.
Well, just, and if nothing else works, just get the ice cream. Thank you. This is an endless conversation potentially. I hope there's something in it that sparks something for you to think about. Meditate on it. Spend a little time in your 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day. Check the email that you would have received if you didn't get it. Go back and check your emails. There should be one for all of you from last week that summarizes last week and gives you access to a meditation app. We're going to offer some more things in there. I still haven't quite set that up, but we're getting there. And then there'll be a follow-up email from this week. And in it will be some links to some videos of the things that we've
I'm
done
not getting
today
those. I
for
don't
you
know
to
why.
use.
I'm not getting those
Okay.
follow-up ones. And I think that's because there is a second email.
Okay, let's go check, make sure that that's coming
And
through.
it's highly possible user error.
Sorry, I doubt it. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take what you learn with you out into your day in some small way, and that's where the change begins, yeah? Thank you so much for sharing everything and your ideas and your presence with all of us this evening. Namaste.